Fellow Ambazonians, dear countrymen, despite the hike in targeted summary execution of our innocent people by Paul Biya's killer squads, I still believe we are now at the twilight of our political daybreak, emptying the combined worth and wealth of a lifetime fortune into the country of our collective dream.
A place we can surely call home.
At last, my people, the wind of total liberation is sweeping through Ambazonia, our priceless inheritance.
The land of our forebears.
A place we can surely call home.
A few years ago, a vicious dictator declared war on our sovereign nation of Ambazonia. It is a war we did not seek nor provoke, but are determined to muster every strength we can harness and continue sending the message to our enemy that we have risen to call no more.
We have paid dues for everything. We pay tax for goods we buy. We pay fuel in our cars. We pay hospital bills and the dues for all other sacrifices.
I can give all I have for the one hope that I have.
Because I hate my CID. I'm a proud Amazonian.
Let's get it straight. The freedom of Ambazonia will not depend on the free will of our enemies.
Independence will be but days away if we get it right with our CID.
My dear comrades, I am appealing to every Ambazonian to register with the CID program.
We have no control over our distorted history, but with our CID, we can set the pace and determine the future of Ambazonia.
Yes, the hope for the future is in our hands. As an Ambazonian, my identity is conclusive. My right is guaranteed. My vote will always count as I pay my CID.
As an Ambazonian, I will shape the future with my CID.
With your CID of just $10 per month, the interim government is contract to fulfill all that you wish to be done.
Let us build the freedom mansion from the little blood, which is our CID levy.
There will be food for everyone, hope for every child, justice for every citizen when we pay our CID levy.
Yes, the dream we can realize. With my compulsory independence dues, CID, I have the opportunity to give to the next generation a greater nation, better than we inherited.
Yes, CID program is freedom made easy, freedom made cheap, freedom for Ambazonia now.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military, gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to come to you today from the great state of Texas, precisely in Houston. Welcome to ABC Amber Television Live. I want to recognize all of you tuning in from ground zero, from ground one, and from all over the globe. I'm talking about those of you in Europe, including the United Kingdom, those of you in Asia, including China, Singapore, in all those areas, the continental USA, plus Canada, the southern hemisphere, talking about South America. Thank you for joining me right here on ABC. It's a pleasure to come to you to bring you this very, very critical information and update on our struggle for self-actualization. Ground zero. It's great to know you are all glued out there on your TV set. From Njikwa to Ingi to Mogamo to Nkwen to Bali to Santa to Piyin to Bambili to Bambui to Indab to Bui to Kambe, everywhere, Boyo, and of course not forgetting Kupe Mwanigoba, Kondo Titi Mundemba, Kumba, K-Town, of course, and of course Victoria, Boya, the Federal Capital Territory, and of course Menji, if there is anybody there, and Mamfe, of course, Eyumojok, everywhere in Ambazonia from the north to the south. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you today with very, very important announcement, a very, very important announcement concerning the lockdown. I came to you a few days ago with that information of a pending lockdown, and I am back here today to bring you updates and to clear some of the confusion that I read and I hear out there with enablers trying to sabotage this lockdown. They just do not understand why we do things here at the interim government the way we do. But I'm going to open up and give you out there, Ambazonians, especially on ground zero, the reason why we are doing this. So please stay tuned. And for those of you watching by way of Facebook, please, I crave your indulgence to go to quickly hit your share button. Let us see these numbers jumping. Let us see this number jumping to the thousands in the next 5 minutes. I see close to 700 already. Let's get it to 1,000 people in the next 5 minutes. In the next 5 minutes again. So much to bring to you today, and I am not going to take much of your time having to wait to bring to you what is going on. So much is going on, and sometimes I come to you late, ladies and gentlemen, because you are about to go live and suddenly something is happening somewhere. You have to take a little more time to find out, get a grip on what is happening before you come up and talk about it. That is why sometimes it is delayed, but sometimes it is also due to preparations. It really takes time to prepare this information to bring to you, because we want to make sure that what we are bringing to you is not propaganda, is not falsehood, is authenticated. So I beg for your pardon for the late coming, and thank you for tuning in. God bless you all for joining the broadcast today, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you are watching by way of Facebook, again, in the next 4 minutes, make it 1,000. It's over 700 right now. Make it 1,000 as quickly as possible. Very, very exciting information I'm about bringing to you right now, ladies and gentlemen. So again, go ahead and quickly hit that share button, and I will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military, gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put in there, and thank you for hitting your share button. Almost, it's over 900 people right now. Keep on hitting that share button as I take you right away into this presentation today. I will do some housekeeping, and then after that, I will take you to the important announcement of the day, talking about the Guterres United Nations lockdown of Ambazonia. The Guterres United Nations lockdown of Ambazonia. That is the thrust of my broadcast to you today. So again, thank you. Go ahead, keep on hitting that share button. Now, I'd like you to take a look, ladies and gentlemen, of these images. Look at these images you find on the screen. Now, the people you find on your screen, many of you have seen this in the social media. You will be told that these are Ambazonia restoration fighters. Again, you will be told these were Ambazonia restoration fighters. No, they were not. They were not Ambazonia restoration fighters. The title is right there on the screen. I think these guys, I doubt whether the guns they have on them were theirs. They are either military guns or something like that, because I don't know why some will have the guns, but some would not. However, the information we are getting here at ABC Amba TV is that these guys were kidnappers and ransom takers who fell into the hands of their own colleagues, talking about La République du Cameroon soldiers, terrorist soldiers. They terrorize people. These guys you see on the screen, they terrorize people. They go about Bamenda, making life a hell, a living hell for inhabitants of the city of Bamenda. Unfortunately, they fell into the hands of other terrorists, this time French Cameroon terrorists, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined by one of us who has some details as to what happened here, in this attack. Again, most of you have seen these images on the social media, but there is confusion out there as to precisely who they are and what happened. Again, I am joined by a comrade here who has details as to what happened there. Hello, sir. Hello,
Secretary Chris. Am I coming across?
I can get you 5 on 5. Go on, tell us what these images are about. Tell us what you have investigated, sir.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. I first of all want to give the ABC crew 1,000 gun salute for the marvelous job you guys do on ABC to keep our people informed.
Thank you.
When I got those images, I decided to call and to find and to make my own investigation to see actually what was the problem.
All right.
To be very honest with you, I got to somebody whose neighbor actually who was actually in the taxi that was taken to carry those guys around. So it's an eyewitness account, and not say a hearsay.
Okay.
It was an eyewitness account. What happened is that those thieves, as you rightly say, those kidnappers, as you rightly say, there is a bar towards Charikon. The colleague, I might not be able to record it now so good. These guys gone around, they have stolen a white pickup truck
Okay.
When after doing their job, when they were drinking, they had drank to stupid to the fact that they started almost misbehaving.
Now, when did it happen? Was it yesterday? Was it today? Or when was that?
Yesterday, day-breaking today. That's yesterday for the people in Ambazonia, and it will be here with us here today with us here.
Okay.
So what happened? This guy has stolen a white pickup truck. For nobody went did their job, and after that they went into that bar drinking.
Okay.
They drank and drank and drank, and to a point where they were almost misbehaving in the bar. I think the other thieves of Larubri Cameroon were notified, and they came around, hung around, and waited until when these guys were getting out of the bar, they were surrounded and did the job the way they know how to do it best. The eyewitness account were actually in a taxi going to do normal life, going to do that, maybe to drink there somewhere.
Okay.
The terrorists from the other side stopped the taxi, got the kill boys into the taxi.
Oh, okay.
Drove along town. That means they took them along, the guys who were going to enjoy their life around town.
Yes.
They went around with them. They went to the Congress Hall. They went around Gay Junction and many other places, 25 minutes, 35 minutes, exhibiting and showing them how they've killed Amber boys.
That was La Republic's other terrorist group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the course of doing that, the narrator of the story told my informant, who is just a next door neighbor, that if they had never urinated on their pants, they thought they were all dead together with those guys. Because the way the guys were looked, or they were looking, they thought they were also dead. But luckily they spared their lives. I've gone around the whole town with those boys showing that they've got Amber boys. But eyewitness, those who could even identify those boys, will say that they are actually the guys that have been terrorizing the town, kidnapping, stealing, and doing, because their boys, according to the person, their boys do not do what those guys do. You hardly see an Amber boy going out to steal a car or to go to a bar and drink tea that night, so much so that to the point that they were drunk.
So let us do a recap here so that the audience understand. So these guys had stolen a white truck, went to a bar around, I think some people said Chair Street or something like that, or behind Chair.
Yeah, Chair Street, that be leading to Tarikon. The Chair Street is not close to Tarikon Park.
And then they drunk themselves to, they drank themselves to stupendous and started misbehaving. And
that's right.
The other terrorists from French Cameroon came and we led them around the same environment. And
that's correct.
And then once they got them, they stopped a taxi that took them around town. And you are actually getting this piece of information from somebody who was in the taxi.
That's correct. That's correct.
Now, they were all together, the four that we find on the screen?
Actually, that's correct. The four that we find, there were four of them that were shot dead, and they were forced into the taxi with them and went around with them. With all of that, went around. He mentioned Engage Junction, he went to Congress Hall, he mentioned some other many places that they withdrew with them that night with them. And actually, those guys were going there, their normal life, going to play their normal life on a weekend or a drink, and then they were stopped and those guys were forced into the car in which they were, and they went about with them in the car.
Okay.
To those places I just mentioned. I mean, I think there were around 4 or 5 places. They say they made around 30 minutes somewhere, 20 minutes somewhere, 15 minutes somewhere.
Any particular reason they were making these rounds?
Yeah, it's some sort of exhibition showing that they've got the Amber Boys.
Okay.
As they always do best, you know, when they do things like this, they already do public squares, they'll go around to show that, okay, they've got the Amber Boys. But meanwhile, those guys have been identified as thieves. And first and foremost, Chris, Amber Boys don't steal cars. They don't steal trucks to go about drinking. They don't mingle stuff like that. They were those who do their stuff like, I am king, like, they don't behave.
Okay.
But unfortunately for today, another thief caught another thief. Maybe teach by some other onlookers.
That's what they call dog. That's what they call dog eat dog, right?
That's correct. Send a thief to catch a thief.
Right. Now, you had also, I think you had also mentioned that these guys are known to be ADF guys.
Very correct.
Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know.
I was coming to that.
Okay.
They tell you in Bamenda, we call it the Apakwa town. There are certain areas where the ADF guys do operate. When you go to Tanka, around the area Tanka,
yes.
You go to area around towards Mbengwe Road. You go to around somewhere like Bali Road. That's why they carry their operation. So when you get to those guys, anybody that get to those places must be very careful because you are likely to fall into the hands of those guys. Secretary Chris, the problem with this guy with Larbi to Cameroon is that especially around Tanka, what they do is, when you know when La Republique is coming to interact with those guys, you will see guns shooting almost all night. But the next morning, you will not see any casualty. You will not see any reason why they were shooting. But in the likes of that, they are doing it to make like there was a fight. Meanwhile, they may be coming, because to be very honest, they have never seen them supply, but they know that when they come like that, they are in a bid to supply the ADF guys some sort of material or money or what. So in the course of doing it, people to believe that they were fighting, but you will never see any casualty, any reason for shooting all night the next morning. Then the problem they'll ask is, but why was they shooting? Who was shooting?
Right.
And the areas are, there is some sort of somewhere where there is a bridge. You see others shooting for other way, shooting after some 30 minutes. Other will shoot for the other way and shoot, and finally after that it subsides. And when it subsides, the next morning when they get up, you're not gonna get anything like why were they shooting. But
well, I have heard so many incidences of those shootings in Bamenda, different parts of the town, of the city. But then you never get to understand why the shootings are happening, because you don't hear of any confrontation between
actually
those shooters and La Republique.
Actually, that is the story. Especially, I would note, especially to Mbengwe at the Tanka area. That's where their stronghold is. And that's where the shooting always takes place. It takes place all night. I think about a week ago where we had, I think you read that a quarter in that area was flooded by the other side, the thieves from the other side.
Yes.
It is believed that they came to supply the ADF with material. And so when they come, they'll flood the whole area and cover the whole that they are fighting or looking for somebody. That just to fool people, just to make people believe that they are in a bit they are looking for something, but in the cover of that, they are doing their best with their sister forces to make sure they supply so that nobody notices what they are. That is meant to keep people indoor. so that nobody knows what they're coming to do or what they are doing. And the last one that we noticed, when they came, those boys are sometimes in and out of that place. The evening before that day, they were around. Well, they know them. They were around. Most of them are in and out, but this time that day they were around, and in the night that happened. And when that happened that night, the next day they disappeared. Therefore, it is believed that they came to meet, either to interchange or to do something. But in the course of which, when they do that, is to force everybody to be indoors so that you don't see what they do. And after they would have finished doing what they are doing, everybody goes, oh, where are you? See, the gun shooting will subside. That's how it is often done.
I get it. I get it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We've got so much to talk about here today. We will move on to our next subject. Thank you for the information.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good work for the good job.
Thank you, sir. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that with the exit of these hoodlums out there in Bamenda, there will be some tranquility and peace among the inhabitants of that good city. We never regret that people like this are taken out, because there is a lot of pain on ground zero. Every part of Ambazonia coming from people like this that you find on the screen. So we are glad they are gone. Let them be gone for good, and let it also be a lesson for those of you who are still out there picking up people, abducting up people, torturing them, and asking for millions from them. Your own day awaits for you. Again, your own day awaits for you. Now I will move on, ladies and gentlemen, to another subject of the day, and I'd like you to stay put a little bit. Listen attentively to this part here. Now this happened in Nkambe. Let me give you a little heads up, a little background there. This chief, I don't remember the name, but ignore the name, but you will see him. This chief went out and carried out libation, and you will see the libation exercise. He conducted a libation in his home village in Nkambe. Now, the libation was intended to kill Ambazonia Restoration Forces. And you will listen to him in his own testimony. He is saying that La République du Cameroon has actually supplied him with an army that will protect him as he fights against Ambazonia forces. Unfortunately, his is a libation gone fatally wrong. It is not the Ambazonia Restoration Forces who have been killed by his libation. It is he himself, now dead, ladies and gentlemen, now dead out of his own libation. This is what they call karma. Listen to him.
I've been working for all church. I talk for them, say, man will come from village from Ba, man no John Amber. I tell them so they are.
Okay, Tada, you meeting where Tada organized why Tada organized?
So I can this meeting because as she said, this is what development not come for that. Is that the thing? I cannot this meeting. I called the Buwat when the never come back. I call all people. I call all phone. How will I call them so? Say many of them should don't be together to follow Buwat. Is that the thing I called the meeting? Say many of them follow this Buwat.
So that men school to go.
Yes. I thought say school it must go. Because of what this picking the laws for nothing. some the chief, some the banker, some where nobody for marriage.
The other part says, cool, must go. Some the thief, some the smoke banger. And of course you heard him there. But take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. The libation that he actually carried out. And now the Ambazonian forces are now dead. I learned he died. I have a report from Comfort, who has some details about this story. But look at the libation. Take a look at it.
Even though you people, Vuamambuana, when I quit, when quit a torture, when I quit a torture, Gracio would come with the development, Bamambuana, Vim Tushe, Vim Nungo, without development, Mambuana, Vimambuar, I can't let Bohavie. But I can't
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you, including myself, will not understand what that chief is saying there. But essentially, he is conducting libation that will curse Ambazonia restoration forces in his town to die. Unfortunately, we just learned this morning that he himself is dead. I call it libation gone fatally wrong. But I'm joined by Comfort, who happens to come from that area and has some knowledge as to what is going on here. Comfort, good joining me.
Hello.
Please, Comfort, please turn down the volume of your set. Turn down the volume of your set, please.
Yes, it is done. Can you hear me now, please?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Tell us what is happening here, please, with this man. First of all, let's know the village he's coming from in Nkambe.
All right. Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening, and thank you for inviting me here this evening.
Thank you.
I greet you all, fellow Ambazonians. This is Comfort here. Yeah, just what you were listening to, I want to make a quick summary of what he was saying out there, right?
Okay.
He says, because where they are, that was in Mbuwat. So what is a very large village in the Wimbum clan of Dongamantung County. So Mbuwat, all of them standing there, they are the funds, they represent the funds. So what he says, he speaks on behalf of the kings, the chiefs, the funds that make up the entire Wat. He says, we, the funds of Mbuwat, will stand against any evil brought to this land by these people. He says, these children, these boys, they go around, they steal money, they kill people, and they disturb our lives. We stand against anything, any evil that they bring to this land. And anybody who brings evil onto our land is going to die. You know, first of all, he says things that are not correct because Amba children do not steal. He says they bring evil and they are going to die. We, the funds of what we're against any of those activities, and whoever does that is going to die. Secretary Chris, you were right to say libation goes wrong. Now, this is what happens. This is Wimbum land. What happens in Wimbum land is that a lot of things went wrong. The word wrong is what is happening here. Watch him, where is he standing? Normally, libation in Wimbum land is not done by the king. There are particular notables in the village who are designed to carry out, to pour libation. And secondly, libation is not being done wearing shoes. That would mean you are snubbing the gods, you are disrespecting the gods of the land. He wears shoes where he is standing. And secondly, again,
libation is never based on falsehood. So when you go and pour libation, you pour libation, you are like sending curses or sending evil out of the land. And when you send out libation, you send the spirit out there to chase the evil. The spirit goes out, they do not come back without executing their assignment. So the spirit was sent out to the wrong person because it was based on falsehood. That is where you, Secretary, come up with the topic, libation goes wrong, because everything actually went wrong. It was based on falsehood. Amber Boys are genuine and they do not kill people, they do not steal money, and they are doing the right thing. Secondly, he is the wrong person to do it. And thirdly, he is doing it on wrong premises, wearing shoes. All right? That is not just what is the problem here, Secretary Chris.
Don't you think, Comfort, that also the gods are angry or were angry against him?
Of course, that is exactly what I am saying. If I did not say so, then I was planning to say that. The gods are definitely angry because he is doing everything wrong. Number one, you are not the one to pour libation when things go wrong. And secondly, things did not go wrong and you went ahead and poured libation. Thirdly, you pour libation wearing shoes. That bembe shoe, the way we are not even correct shoe, So those things, all of the things that he's doing there are wrong. Everything based on falsehood. So he could only find himself where we say he is today.
Now, tell us, when did he die?
So I cannot say exactly when, but it's very recent, because I hear he traveled to Pakistan also one of these days and came back with fever. So the one you see now is the one he did about a year ago. Then recently, about 2 weeks ago, he poured another libation. So I hear that there was a recent one that he just poured. So the gods are like, we have had enough. We have been patient with you enough, and this time around we are taking you along, because we don't go out and come back for nothing. When you provoke us and you take us out, we need to do our job, and so you have to pay the price. All right? And so he had to pay the price, and so he is now let's pray he's in heaven, right? So apart from that,
he can't be in heaven unless somebody prayed for him at his deathbed.
Let's keep that for now. Now, nothing they were there. What is happening here, right? This drama we are watching out here, the stage directors are not these people you see them act. They are just acting because these words have been spat into their mouths. Look at this papa standing here. The only grammar words where the father ever talk for a laugh now when he says, we do not want Amber Boys, we want development. They want development because that is what the greedy stooges of La République du Cameroon, the CPT and big wigs of Kambe, of Wimbum land, are the people who are behind this. So the mayor of Kambe, now as we speak, in Mfomusa, and he comes from this village. Mfomusa, who is the mayor of Kambe, is from what? And so it's from Nwangri, this part is from this king who is standing here is from Nwa, and the rest of the funds, they are the funds of that what, where Mfomusa comes from. So he goes and teaches, but I don't know for how long he practiced to say development, just to come and say, we do not want war, we want development. So whoever is coming and fighting and stealing money should die. You right? You know? So they forget about everything, they ignore any other thing about tradition, and they put, they use the people who are weak, they're illiterate, they're old, they're feeble-minded, to push through their own agenda so that they remain in power which does not even exist, Secretary Chris.
Right. So tell me, what are these other funds and chiefs? What are you hearing from them? Are they saying anything about the death of their the Nigerians call it is it Nogu, or what are they saying? The Igwes are the chiefs there. The Enugu is a man pouring libation, right? So what are the Igwes surrounding him saying? What are you hearing from them?
So far, I don't want to say exactly what they are saying because I don't know. But the truth, what I know exactly is that everything that he's doing is based on falsehood. And so the kings or the chiefs or the funds of other villages would have frowned. They would have said, this thing you are doing is not right. Because first, you are not the one who is supposed to do it. Secondly, you are doing it for a wrong purpose. And thirdly, you are wearing shoes doing this. It is never done anywhere, right? And some for Musa hides behind, maybe he hides behind, pushes him in front to do that and get him drive his agenda through. And there we go. Here is the king now. I am here sitting here announcing the disappearance. They say they don't die, they disappear. So that guy disappeared because he did a lot of wrong things.
All right.
That's a lesson.
Yes, it's indeed a lesson that we hope that not just the traditional doctors, or they call them babalawos, not just what they do, but we hope that every chief and fon out there trying to rise against the will of the people and to stand on the side of La République du Cameroon, we hope that they learn from some of these things. Comfort, thank you for giving us these details. Good evening, sir. Good night, man.
Senator Chris,
Yes.
Senator Chris, I'm sorry, 1 second before
Okay.
I go. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, go on.
Yes, you know that this king, you remember about a year ago, there was one time that these La République du Cameroun soldiers, they meant business on disgracing our funds. And one of the funds of what? This place where they're pouring libation was beaten by La République du Cameroun, put behind a car boot, and transported to the cells in Binju in Cambe. These same funds did not come out to say anything to decry that attitude, that act by La République du Cameroun. But here they are, they come out to talk, to say things against children that are doing the right thing and fighting for their rights. And there you go, libation goes wrong because everything went wrong. Thank you, Senator Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Comfort. I don't know what profession you are into, but I know for sure you are not a journalist, but I think that's what you should be doing. Thank you. You are a good reporter.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that those chiefs and the funds and all the medicine people out there who think that they can take money from La République and rise up against the will of Ambazonia, against this independence quest, know that no, you cannot kick against what God has ordained. As we say in this struggle, that it is God ordained. It is God ordained. And so we want to believe that the rest of the people out there learn a lesson from that and not fight against the prick. Now I want to take you to yet another interesting subject, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you see those two guys, I believe they are corpses lying there. That happened, I'm told, in the Bui. Again, I have not yet confirmed this. I was supposed to confirm this, but so far the information that we have received is that these were two ADF fighters who had accompanied La République du Cameroun terrorist soldiers to go invade the camp of Bui warriors. Unfortunately for them, the Bui warriors were smarter than them, and they got them tracked down, and their fate is exactly what you find on the screen right now. Those were two ADF fighters caught with La République du Cameroun soldiers about to go and betray, expose the camp of Bui warriors for assassination. Thank God, the warriors' intelligence was better than theirs, and the outcome is what you find on your screen. We have said it again and again and again. The ADF is working with La République du Cameroun, and there are those doubting Thomases out there who keep on wondering, keep on disbelieving. But we keep on bringing you this evidence so that you may know. We are not setting them up, lying against them. We are telling you what we know, what we see. We have seen it in Batebo. You saw where the ADF was hiding in that mansion in Batebo with La République du Cameroun soldiers. You saw them. You saw it here again. We have seen paychecks to ADF to ADF fighters from the late informed Mokete as they were guarding his plantation. We have also been given intelligence even by Americans that arms have changed hands between La République du Cameroon forces and the ADF, and the man, the middle person being Eli Smith. Eli Smith, many of you still don't believe it. Unfortunately, the evidence keeps on mounting and mounting and mounting. You have it on your screen. 2 ADF fighters caught with La République du Cameroon soldiers. And again, the outcome is what you see there. They were about going to betray Bui warriors, but the Bui warriors were smarter. And the result is what we see there, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, now, let me also take you to another subject of the day. Now, I'm going to come to, of course, I'm going to come to the main announcement of this broadcast talking about the lockdown. So hold your peace. You always keep the best for the last, right? So, but let's get to what is going on here. Now, look at this, what you find on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. What you see, the image you find there on the screen. That is a guy. They're called Clovis. Is it Nakao or Nkar Clovis? Something like that. This guy used to be one of our restoration fighters. He came out, got persuaded by the French Cameroon army, and they got him settled down at one of their DDRs, precisely in Boya. Now, La République du Cameroon want Ambazonia restoration fighters to believe that if you just lay down your arms, if you can just lay down your arms, we will resettle you. We will give you money, a good package to take care of your life and take care of your family. Now, so far, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't seen that in a single case. We haven't seen a single case of rehabilitation by French Cameroon. They pick up these guys, force them into the concentration camps at the DDR centers, and make their lives a living hell, as you can find there on the screen. Now, this is a guy, Clovis, who comes on the social media now and then, again and again, trying to make believe that they are having fun. They are having fun at the DDR centers, ladies and gentlemen. Nambere joined him, and both of them now are living miserable lives. The last we heard of Nambere was that he was trying to sneak out in the back, in the trunk of a car to the Central African Republic, and they caught him up. And you could see him weeping. You could see him weeping. But these are the two guys who want our restoration forces to believe if they just lay down their arms and join them at the DDR center, heaven will be on earth for all of them. Heaven will be on earth for all of them. I really hope that those of you Ambazonian restoration fighters who are still out there putting your lives on the line, you are seeing the result of surrender. I hope you are seeing the misery of surrender. Nambere is crying and weeping and begging for a savior to the extent of getting into the trunk of a car to sneak him out of La République, that damn country called La République. But no help is coming. Don't be surprised to wake up the next day to hear that Nambere is not alive anymore. This other guy, He has become so miserable, so miserable. Look at what he is doing out there, ladies and gentlemen. I understand he is in Akonolinga. I learned this is in Akonolinga. I'm not sure about that. I cannot confirm that. But at least you can see what he is doing out there. Ambazonian Restoration Forces, please never ever make the mistake of laying down your arms to go to their DDRO center. It will mark the beginning of unending frustration in your life. You can see it there. How this makes sense to you? I really hope this makes sense, a lot of sense to you. Do not for any reason lay down your arms and become a bunch of miserable people as these two that you'll find here. These guys are regretting that they laid down their arms and joined La République du Cameroon with false promises. False promises. Let me ask La République du Cameroon, you cannot as much as rehabilitate and settle two fighters you got in your camp, and you want Ambazonia to believe if we lay down our arms and come to you, we can negotiate and live together. You cannot even give these two jobs. You cannot even give them jobs. Ambazonia, listen to me. That country is doomed to collapse. If they cannot take care of their own, they're not going to take care of you in the next 100 years. I hope that every fighter out there get this and take it for a model lesson. All right. But also, besides that, ladies and gentlemen, I also like you to take a look at this. Take a look at this image here. This is the new the new teachers. These are the new teachers in La République du Cameroon. These are the new teachers that French Cameroon is employing, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? I hope the United Nations is seeing that. I hope UNESCO, UNICEF, I hope they are seeing that. Look at the classroom. Look at who the teachers are, or the teacher is. Look at the man toting his gun around him. Look at how frightened those children they look, ladies and gentlemen. And they want us to believe that education, schools are going on, schools are open. Who are the teachers? The teachers are the gun-toting military officials, ladies and gentlemen. To every parent in Ambazonia, at the beginning of this school season, we came to you from the interim government and made you to understand this interim government hasn't changed its position on school resumption. We stated very, very clearly, it will be your take. It will be your responsibility depending on the security situation in the country for you to decide whether or not your children get back to school. Now, taking a look at this, having seen this, is this where you want to send your children? But assuming that you want to send your children there, are these the teachers you want to teach your children? Are these the teachers, ladies and gentlemen? Where are the teachers? Where are the teachers? We see military. I learned this happened in Moyoka, and probably it is happening in other places. If it is happening in Moyoka, it surely will be happening in other places. And please, I beg you, if you have more of this kind of photographs, send them to us. Send them to us. Let's expose to the world that La République du Cameroon has no control over Ambazonia. La République du Cameroon has no grip over Ambazonia. Where are their teachers? Where are their teachers? If military men carrying guns will be in a classroom pretending to teach, there is no school going on. Parents, keep your children home, because one of these days, these military men will turn their guns against those children and they will formulate a story. Amba boys came to the school and shot down students. Please Please get your children out of those classes. Word to the wise, it's enough. Get your children out of there. This is what you see here is not. It's not education. It is make-believe. Again, it is make-believe. Get your children out of there before they gun them down in another Kumba massacres, another Kumba school massacre. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. Again, the policy of this interim government stays. Please, parents, without security, you don't want to risk the lives of your children. Without security, you do not want to risk the lives of your children. Please, please, the atmosphere is not right. The environment is not right. Those children will be killed. And I believe you know the narrative that the public will say anything to justify it. But at the end, you will be the loser. You remain the loser because your child would have been gone. Your child would have been gone. Or your school would have been burnt down. The public will give every narrative they can. But you remain the loser. So take note of that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think I should take you to the main subject of the day, of this broadcast, talking about Ambazonia, Guterres lockdown. Ambazonia, Guterres lockdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I came to you last week with an announcement, a promise of a lockdown or shutdown of Ambazonia. The reason I came to you was not to frighten you. It was just to give you updates, because we here at the interim government, it is incumbent upon us to never, ever want to surprise you, especially on ground zero, who bear the brunt of everything that happens there on ground zero. So I had to come out last week to prepare your mind so you know what lies ahead. The Supreme Military Council of the interim government of Ambazonia met over the weekend to fine-tune the program for this lockdown. And as many of you now know, the lockdown is beginning on Wednesday, a day after today. A day after today. The lockdown starts on Wednesday, not on any other date, not on the 20th, but on the 15th. You have heard it from our generals on the ground. And it is also important for you to note that we do not sit in the diaspora and take decisions and tell the generals what to do. We collaborate with them and make sure that everything that we agree, we discuss and agree is executable, prosecutable with them before we go out to announce it. Now, this is important because there are some other announcements, audio, social media postings out there that say, oh, why are they calling for a lockdown? Some are saying, no, there is no lockdown in Fako, there is no lockdown in Membe. You have heard and seen some of those messages, ladies and gentlemen. I have even heard from Cho Ayaba in an audio message, trying the subtle way to convince Ambazonians that what the interim government is trying to do is stupidity. Why should they be calling a lockdown instead of, one is it General Zama, I also listened to him. He said, why can't they go and demonstrate at the United Nations? Why are they not going to carry this out at the United Nations? Why are they doing this here? Why are they punishing ground zero? Why can't they go to the United Nations Plaza and carry out a demonstration for those leaders to see them and know exactly what is going on in their town? And Cho Ayaba says it is stupidity to call for a lockdown on our Independence Day, 1st October. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys are very, very short-sighted. Very, very short-sighted. I want you to know this. I want you to know this. Decisions taken here at the interim government, they are not taken unilaterally by Dr. Sako. They are not taken by Chris Anu. They are not taken by the vice president. They are taken in a conclave. They are taken in a conclave. That means people have come, sat down, reason together, make contributions, see the look at the feasibilities before ever coming out with it. Before ever coming out with it. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Cho Ayaba is out there saying that, oh, how can they lock down? How can they lock down on the 1st October, which is supposed to be our day of celebration? But you know what he is doing? He has not as much as put out his plans for 1st of October. Instead, what Ayaba is doing out there, ladies and gentlemen, this is what he is doing. The ADF is doing out there. The ADF with their little fighters who are allies of La République du Cameroun, again, as we know. This is what is happening on ground zero. The ADF goes to one village, set up a demonstration, a march past. They go to one village, stage up a march past, and then the same team will move to another village, set up another march past, and the same team moves to the other village, set up another march past on October 1st. Watch me, listen to me. On October 1st, you are going to see the same faces, the same ADF faces staging this march past, supposedly celebrating October 1st around Ambazonia. You know what they want to do? They want to tell the world that, as they will say, that they have 80% of Ambazonia. They have the domineering forces on the ground in Ambazonia. That is what they are trying to do. Concoction, setups, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we have known this long enough, and it is not going to carry water all this time. It will not carry water this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are announcing this lockdown. We call it Guterres United Nations lockdown. Guterres United Nations lockdown. Of course, you know that Guterres is the Secretary General of the United Nations. Guterres is the Secretary General of the United Nations, and if you are asking why we are naming it after him or after the United Nations, it is because September is the period for the United Nations General Assembly. In fact, it is officially starting tomorrow, but I think speech making starts on the 20th of September through to the 28th of September. But we are naming this because I've heard people say, why are you calling for a lockdown when the United Nations is meeting in New York? Why? Why are you punishing people on the ground when the United Nations is meeting in New York? You should have just gone to New York to carry out a demonstration there. How about we do it in two places, on ground zero and in New York, ladies and gentlemen? How about that? Now, Ambazonians, you got to be very, very smart. You got to be very, very smart out there, especially on ground zero. Every time there is something that squeezes the air out of La République du Cameroun, you will see affiliates of La République du Cameroun. They come out and try to give you every reason every reason why you should not respect or obey these lockdowns and ghost towns. They want you to believe. They want you to believe it is meant to torment you. It is meant to add pain to the pain you are already going through. It is meant to frustrate your life. Again, we are very, very reasonable people here. I don't think I look stupid here, right? Because I sit in those meetings when those decisions are taken. We are very, very reasonable people here at this interim government, and for no reason would we just come out announcing lockdowns or shutdowns for lockdown and shutdown sakes. These things are meditated upon before they are brought out to you. Now listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give you some of the reasons why this lockdown is very, very important. Again, the United Nations General Assembly is coming up in New York. It is starting tomorrow formally. It starts officially on the 20th. But this is what is happening. La République du Cameroon has put out an official report that paints a rosy scenario on the ground in Ambazonia of things coming back to normality. Schools have resumed. The courts are on. We did not, take note of this. We did not call this lockdown because of the courts in Ambazonia. We can have those courts shut down, and we will have them continuously shut down without a lockdown. We did not call for a lockdown because of the courts. Absolutely not. We don't need a lockdown to shut down the courts. So this is very, very important that that you know this. It is not because of the courts. It is not because of schools. It is because of the fast one that La République du Cameroon is trying to play on us. La République du Cameroon. And of course, let me add that we are not locking down because of October 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not locking down because of October 1st. We don't need to lock down our country to celebrate our independence. We don't lock down because of the cost. Again, we don't need a lockdown to shut down any institution, a lot of public institution in Ambazonia. We don't need a lockdown. But this is the reason why we need a lockdown. We need a lockdown because of the narrative, the lies, the fabrications that La République du Cameroon wants to take to the United Nations in the coming days. They are going to the United Nations to paint a rosy situation on the ground. That life is returning to normalcy. That schools have resumed. That only a few pockets of resistance still exist in Ambazonia. They are essentially telling the world, ladies and gentlemen, that the world is grinding to a halt and they are making progress, bringing it to an end. They will talk about reconstruction. They will take the images coming from the classrooms to the United Nations, but they will not, of course, show them. They will not present to the United Nations images like this one, of course. They cannot. They will dare not present images like this one. But La République du Cameroon is going to the United Nations with a report that they have a handle. They've got a handle over the situation in Ambazonia. What we are trying to do here is to deny them, ladies and gentlemen, deny La République du Cameroon that message. Nothing rosy on the ground in Ambazonia. We are telling the parents, keep your children home. This is not education that you have in the classroom, ladies and gentlemen. Those are military camps, not classrooms. That guy wake up from that classroom. He slept in there, got up in there. The children met him in there. And he's pretending to be a teacher. Where the world is seeing. The world is seeing. But this is the point. Nothing. There is nothing rosy on the ground. Instead, We are taking over our territory from LGA to LGA, from county to county. And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, this lockdown is not intended to lock you down, to punish you, to crucify you. I have just stated the United Nations General Assembly is starting tomorrow. And it goes up all the way to the end of the month, And so, this is the reason we have called for this lockdown. So that when La Republic of Cameroon gets to the United Nations and say, you see, everything is getting back to normal. We are bringing our country together. We are, we have created the House of Chiefs. We've created, what do they call it? The regional councils. We have the special status, which Monzu says it doesn't exist, by the way. We have done this, because that is what they are going. They are going to the United Nations to present a report card of the situation in Ambazonia. Please take note of this. They are preparing a report card to take it to members of the United Nations. If we want the United Nations to intervene in our case, in this struggle, we must prove to the United Nations that La République du Cameroon has no handle over our territory. We must prove to the United Nations we control our territory, we own our territory, we decide what happens in our territory, and La République du Cameroon does not. This is the message of this lockdown, ladies and gentlemen. This is the message of the lockdown. We control and we own our territory. Let's send this message on the social media. The tweeters, tweet the United Nations, tweet Guterres, tweet every country that meets at the United Nations that Ambazonia belongs to Ambazonia. Ambazonia is owned by Ambazonia. Ambazonia is controlled by Ambazonia, by the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. That is the message of this lockdown. Again, that is the message of this lockdown. I want to believe that none of you is left with any reason, with any doubt, with any confusion as to why we are doing this. We got a good reason to do it. Let me ask those who say you should have just gone to the United Nations and staged a rally or a march past there. You go to the United Nations, you call for a rally, and unfortunately, it rains. Who shows out for a rally under the rain? Ladies and gentlemen, who shows up for a rally under the rain? This is the beginning of winter here in the USA. But if we stop La République within these 2 weeks in our territory, we would have sent the message loud and clear. No report they present to the United Nations will bear any weight. They will know. Other leaders, world leaders will know they lie. They're lying. They will know they are lying. So, I hope this makes a lot of sense to all of you, especially on Ground Zero. This lockdown is not meant to add to your pains. We know you are in pain. We know you are struggling. We know that you have gone for quite a long time, sometimes without making anything. But ladies and gentlemen, especially those of you watching, listening to me from Ground Zero, ours is a war. Again, ours is a war. And it's not a war to take over La République du Cameroun or for Ambazonian to become the president of La République du Cameroun. No, it is a war to take back our country. And these sacrifices will be needed again and again and again and again. When we come to you asking for your collaboration, please understand us. We've had a thinking over it before bringing it to you. There are many detractors, enablers, blacklegs out there sending out messages on the social media saying that it has been cancelled. I've heard from some fighters who do not belong to the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. I have heard some messages from them saying that there will be no lockdown in Fako, in Meme, in other places. And I have seen some activists putting out some messages saying that the lockdown is cancelled. Lockdown starts on Wednesday, 15th of September, a day from today. And it goes through to the 2nd of October. Now, this is the nature of it. Lockdown starts on Wednesday. There will be no movement. No movement. Nothing moves on the streets or the roads of Ambazonia. Nothing. And we mean nothing. All the major roads, international roads. When I say international roads, I mean the road linking Ambazonia and La République du Cameroon. The one linking us with Nigeria. All the international roads are shut down. You try to be defiant, you do it at your own risk. Within the country, Ambazonia, every major road linking the towns, the cities, the LGAs, and the counties are also shut down. If you live in Mbengui, for example, don't say, I want to drive to Bamenda. You live in Victoria, don't say, I want to drive to Mutengene or to Boya. The roads will be shut down. Tiko, Douala shut down. Ekok, Mamfe, Kumba, Boya, to Mutengene shut down. Mamfe, Batibo, Bamenda, Bali, Bamenda is already shut down anyways. Thank you, Grandpa. That road is already shut down. Bamenda, Babindankwe, Santa, Mbunda, shut down. Then Bamenda, Bambui, they call it Ring Road. A ring road that has never been done. Ring Road shut down. What, either going to Boyo or going to Kambe or Bui, shut down. Of course, Wum doesn't have Menchum, doesn't have a road from Bamenda to that place. I won't bother about that. So that is the nature of it. The roads are shut down. They are grounded. If you want to try with your car, please try. Now, no public transportation, nothing. Every car, private or public, and taxis will be grounded. The weekends will be free for movement. And when I say the weekends, I mean Saturday will be open for business and movement. Sundays will be open for business and movement. Now, on Saturdays and Sundays, all the roads will still be shut down. The movement is allowed within the city areas or the town areas, ladies and gentlemen. The movement is only allowed on Saturdays, Sundays, within the city or town areas. No other car vehicle movement is expected except for Okadas and taxis. In other words, taxis and Okadas only shall be allowed to circulate on Saturday and on Sunday. We believe that many of you would want to go to the markets to do some shopping for yourselves, and you need those taxis and those Okadas. Please, you have a private car, don't take it out. Don't take it out. Please, don't take it out. If you take it out and it is destroyed, you will not say we are wicked. You will not say you were not told, you were not informed. Any private car that will be seen out on a Saturday or Sunday will be taken for a military covenant covenant car. So it will be taken down. It will be taken down. Saturdays, Sundays, only taxis and Okadas. You can go to anywhere within the city area with a taxi or Okada. Again, that is only for Saturdays and Sundays. Now, the lockdown ends on the 2nd of October. I'm sorry, I don't want to say end. We will still have to come back to you to address you as to the way forward on the 2nd of October. Again, we will come back to you to address you as to the way forward on the 2nd of October. So, that is the period, the duration, and the reason for this lockdown. Ladies and gentlemen, again, lockdown starting on Wednesday the 15th. No other day. If you should hear of any other day, ladies and gentlemen, from any person, know that they are blacklegs. They are saboteurs. They are blacklegs. And so please do not take it from any other person. Take it from me. Take it from this interim government. That is the program for the lockdown. Again, there are many saboteurs out there. Do not listen to any other information that contradicts, that is different from what you are hearing from me today. Lockdown starts on Wednesday, a day from today, September 15, ends on October 2nd. We will come back to you then to update you as to the way forward. Now, as I said, Saturdays and Sundays will be open for movement, only intercities, only within the cities and the town. The roads will still be shut down at the weekend. The roads leading in and out of every town or city will still be shut down at the weekends. But within the towns and the cities, people are free, are allowed to go about shopping on Saturdays and Sundays using taxis and Okadas or bike riders. That is the situation. That is the lockdown. Now, this is what I am going to do right now, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to open the phone lines and allow you to ask any questions concerning this lockdown. Again, I have explained to you the reason why we are calling it Guterres lockdown. We must not allow La République du Cameroon to take a message to the United Nations that is contrary to the situation on the ground. Yeah, that is contrary to the situation on the ground. So I will go ahead and open the phone lines. Open the phone lines and allow you to call in for any questions. I would like Ground Zero particularly doing that. I would really love to have these questions coming particularly from Ground Zero. I think the phones are beginning to ring already. All right. Please remember, before you call, make sure that the volume of your television set is shut down before you call. Make sure that the volume of your TV set is shut down before you call. Hello. Hello, Sir Chris. Hello, good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Mezam County.
Thank you. And what is your question? Make it brief so we can take as many callers as possible.
Yeah, I want to ask some clarification, because if you read from the report of the president signed on the report from the military council, it said from Fridays the 17, 18, and 19, cars, taxis and motorbike will circulate freely. But from what you have just said, it's contrary to what we read from the report.
When is the 17?
17 is a Friday.
17. Okay, if it says I don't think Friday, that may be a mistake. We are opening up the weekends, which is
because from the report the president signed from the Supreme Military Council, it is mentioned 17, 18, and 19. That those are the free days for taxis and bikes to circulate. But otherwise, from the announcement you are giving here from the Secretary of Communication is different.
all right. Not a big deal about that. We still have a few days to go. We are starting on Wednesday. The starting date is what is most important. I will confirm that information about Friday, and I will put out an audio to that effect. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Hello.
Yes. Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello. Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, thank you. What is in your mind?
Well, just a point of clarification. By the way, thank you for all the great work you do. Sometimes I wonder how you get paid for this, but we can talk about this some other time. What I want to know right now is during the week, you said during the week, we have no, like the ban actually affects the major highways that leads from one county to another and the international roads. But within the town, say for example, if you are in Bafut, for example, just within Bafut, during the week, what happens? That's all I want to know.
No movement. That is why we called it a lockdown.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, then that clarifies it. Secretary Chris, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right. Again, the phone line is there on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get who is next here. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Baminda.
Okay, so you're having electricity out there today?
Yeah, I have electricity.
All right, it's great to hear that. What is in your mind?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you are not having a good
signed by the President Sako.
Yes.
I said the press release signed by President Sako. It is indicated there very clear that the break will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's the day that you said it is confusing. It is there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The press release signed by Dr.
All right.
Sako. It is better to say immediately and correct it.
I think we have handled that. As I said, if it does not change, if it is not, I will put out an audio. That is taken care of. Hello? Hello? I think we lost.
It's very clear. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello? Hello? I guess that's a bad connection. All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't read that press statement because I was in the meeting. I was in the planning. If the date now includes Friday, it's not a big deal. That is okay. But you can trust that I will still send out an audio confirming that. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Meme.
Okay, good to hear your voice. What is in your mind?
Okay, what I want to ask you, sometimes there was a lockdown of 2 weeks, and we have people who are very sick, which ambulance cannot reach there. We have pregnant women. Do you people consider these people when we are putting a long lockdown of this nature?
We absolutely do, ma'am, and thanks for the question. If I may ask you, when somebody is sick, how do you get an ambulance?
When somebody, we have bike riders who come right to the place and there are some places a vehicle cannot even reach there. Take for example, a Kumbe, and you have to bring the person to Kumba. The road is locked down. How do that person leave a Kumbe and come right to Kumba for medical attention?
I think those are very, very special circumstances, and I think that can be accommodated because the goal is not to punish people. The goal is to send a message to the powers that be. And so, if in such a situation, we will say, if the life of somebody is at risk, we will say, do everything that you can to take that person to the hospital, but also carry something on your body that proves that this person is really sick and needs immediate medical attention. So, does that make sense? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my point, because I'm also thinking that if it is concerning the UN meeting, the day that Cameroon is they are talking about Cameroon, a lockdown could have taken effect on such days.
You are right, but that is not how information doesn't disseminate that quick. If, for example, UN General Assembly is starting tomorrow, and you wait to the 20th, and you know that the way that thing works is that they go to the United Nations, their reports are pre-written and presented. The reading that they do there is just for formality. Those reports have already been submitted. So, if we have a lockdown that takes a number of days, before the 20th or whenever Cameroon is presenting, the world would have known that what they are passing to us or to them is fake. The message would have gotten out. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Those were my worries.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see who else is calling. Hello. 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 Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, before you call, make sure that your television set is turned down, the volume is turned down before you call. All right. Let's see who is next here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Europe, please. I'm very happy today after seeing all your presentation. I am very happy.
Thank you.
The decision taken, the lockdown, everything is perfect. Anybody who is criticizing it is because we don't know why we are fighting since the fighting started. The lockdown is painful, but it is at the same time fruitful. The decision is perfect. This is the wisest time the decision has been taken. And concerning the chief of Nogamantum, I think other chiefs have to learn from that man, because what he did is what has killed him.
It's karma, right?
Yeah, that is a very look. Every chief has his force from his people, and without the people, a chief is nobody. So
right.
Any of the chiefs who thinks that taking us, his people, to sell would make him more than what he is already now is just joking. And then the case of the guy who is in DDR, that guy, a young guy like him, beautiful physically, but he has a very ugly brain. How can a boy like this, young boy like this, decide to go and be roasting maize and selling by the side of the road? Yeah. Instead of fighting for his people, for the children and the people to come after, he's doing this for an old man who is, I don't know if the man is alive even. The president of the Republic, I don't know, nobody can testify if he's alive except the neighbors.
Yes.
Then concerning Ayabacho, look, everybody who is supporting him is making a very big mistake. There was a time last week or 2 weeks like this, I was listening to him. He had a one-on-one with one guy so-called Ashu Lucas or what. When the guy gave him, he made a question. How can you evaluate our fighters on the ground? Ayabacho had no reason, no. He said nothing about the fighters, his own fighters. He instead was talking about no pity, and no pity already openly disown him. That is not working for him. He's working but for the president of the IG. That is our Excellency Samuel Ekome Sako.
All right. Thank you for the call. Let's give the chance to others.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. Let's get to our next caller here. Hello.
Hello, Sir Chris.
Hello, good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from?
Good evening, sir. I'm calling from Ground Zero.
What county, sir?
Fako County.
Fako County. Okay, I hope you guys got the news about lockdown, correct?
Sure, sir. We got the news, but the world.
Are you having electricity there in Victoria?
Sure, sir.
So everybody can watch this.
Yes, everyone can do that.
All right, go on with your contribution, sir.
Sir, my contribution is simple. I don't know, you people need to provide us with some device that you can bring down those bridges. That is just my contribution, sir. Those bridges that are linking the Republic to Cameroon and
you know, sir, this thing is small now. We will start with rubber gun. Then we'll go for they call it Chavum. Then from Chavum, they start a crisis AK. Now you don't see wait no pity they carry on the worker for Gogetunja and it no worry about whether bridge or which one. Small will reach for there. We'll catch ground beep as they talk.
Yeah, you're right. And Paco is very, very stubborn, so we need to put an end to that.
No, definitely it will be fixed.
Yes, thank you, and I appreciate you for doing the great job.
Thank you, sir. Good night. All right, let's see who next here. Ladies and gentlemen, I can take every call. If I take your own, you are lucky. Hello. Please shut down the volume of your TV and focus on the phone.
Yes, I'm out of range now. Hello.
All right, where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Meme County.
Meme County, K-Town. So you have electricity too?
Yes, we have electricity. Fortunately, we have electricity.
I'm surprised that from Mezam to, from Bameda all the way Victoria, Meme, you have electricity, because every time I learn, they shut it down when they know we are coming up.
Yes, that's the thing, really. They actually do shut us, but today we are really fortunate.
Okay, what is your contribution, sir?
Okay, about school, let me just give you something. Like the school issue we are talking. The other day in a term, because they don't have light, because their light from Zoom to Kumba has been destroyed long. So what the military did in a term is that they went there, when the mothers and the parents have gone to the farm, I don't know what term to use, they carried all the children to their barracks. When the parents returned back home, they couldn't see their children, so they were informed that their children are in the barrack.
So the soldiers came around and carried all the children to their barracks?
Yes, they came and carried all the children, went to their barracks. When the parent comes, they inform them that their children are there. You go there, you pay a fine of 25,000 francs, then you register as child there. And tell them the school that your child is going to go there.
Uh-huh.
So that's what they are doing in these remote areas where there are no electricity, no internet network, like the case we're just in Morocco. I think it's God that does expose them with the case.
So I guess it's a way to force the parents to send their children to school, right?
Well, I can't tell, but I think it's a way to force them. But you have to pay 25,000 francs to take your child from them. So I don't.
Oh, you have to then pay 25,000 francs to retrieve your child.
Yes, and you pay per child. So
all right.
Doing it at a time.
That is the highest form of frustration from that. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Let's get to orders.
Okay, please. I just want to thank you very much for the lockdown because it has struck the plan of the ADF to manipulate us here on Ground Zero.
All right. Thank you. At least it's important that you guys understand those plans. It will not happen. Thank you. Have a good night. All right, to the next caller here. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello. Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero, precisely Douala.
Okay, thank you. What is your contribution?
Yeah, Secretary Chris, thanks for the great job you are doing. My own contribution, I'm very happy for what you people are doing over there. And I want to say that I think that
Well, that's a bad connection, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the next caller. I like Ground Zero. It's calling from everywhere. Wonderful. This is still a bad connection. Let's see who else is on the line. Okay. All right. Hello. Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please? Faco. Great to hear that. So, what is your contribution, sir?
My concern is particularly about a place like Tiko and Mutengene.
Okay.
On days that we have the possibility for traffic to circulate. So do we only circulate within Tiko, or taxis can go as far as Mutengene and back?
I will say Tiko, Mutengene and back. Not Tiko, Victoria, not Tiko, Victoria, not Mutengene, Boya.
Clearly understood, Secretary Chris. I want to thank you for all the work that you're doing. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay. Ground Zero is calling. Hello.
Good evening, Secretary. Yeah, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. I guess it's a sir, am I right?
Yeah, it's a sir.
Okay. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Ikondo City.
Ikondo Titi, the land of Field Marshal 10 Kobo.
Obviously, yes, sir.
All right. What is your contribution, sir?
My contribution is about the lockdown. When you were mentioning concerning the lockdown, you said nothing about Ikondo City and Modiba. So I don't know why.
I mean, do I have to call them out separately? They are in Ambazonia, right? The lockdown is for the entire territory.
Okay, you know, our people back home, you know, not everybody has such reasoning to take it that way. So it is good when you want to pass out such an information, you are ought to call all the various counties so that our people, those that do not have that knowledge to understand is that when you pass an announcement as that one, it has to go all around Ambazonia to get to understand you well, sir.
All right, I get you, but we also put out an audio because, as you said, I know not all of you can receive television. I will also put out an audio that can circulate faster and wider than television. So that the lockdown is for all the 13 counties, in Ambazonia. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir.
All right. Okay, let's see who else is calling. The calls are flowing in from ground zero. Wonderful. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Yes, sir. Good evening. May I know where you are calling from? What part of Ambazonia are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Fako, precisely Victoria.
Wonderful. What is going on there, sir?
Yeah, Secretary, concerning the lockdown, I want the ARF to take special note of this Victoria because we have the enablers that are here, the Bamileke people. They will not respect, they will be doing what they are doing. And I want to plead with you, Secretary Chris, our boys should be very vigilant because the taxis, military people are moving inside taxis, military people are moving inside Okada. This Okada they call Chat Noir, black cat. They are using them as motor riders also. So our boys should be very, very vigilant for that. There are some of these Okadas in Manawa Bay, then give them out for military people to be going around doing the investigation. So our boys should be informed.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, the phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead. I like hearing from ground zero. All the calls are coming in from ground zero. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Put them down. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Secretary Chris.
Good evening. Where are you calling from?
Yes. I'm calling from Victoria.
Good. Wow. What's happening with Victoria today? This is strange.
Hello.
Yes. Go on. What is in your mind?
Yeah. Yes. I want to say that I think the lockdown is no mercy lockdown, Secretary Chris. So we don't have to begin to have the sorry heart for our people because nothing is bigger than the freedom. So I think the Saturday and Sunday that you people have given us is enough. And I would first like to thank you people for the great job you people are doing over there. And may God bless you people and may God give you the strength to continue. So as for the schools that we have seen militaries in the school, I think we can tweet those images to the other countries to see what is going on in our country, because we don't think if one child may ask the military why he is carrying gun before teaching them, they will not say the truth. So I think we should tweet these images to our foreign countries to see what is actually going on in our territory.
You are very, very. You are very, very correct. You are very correct. Every Ambazonian should tweet.
What you people are doing. Thanks. Yes, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, thank you. I think you make a very good point there. A very good point there, Ambazonians. Please let us all tweet these images of the military in classrooms with gun, and look at how frightened those children are. Everybody I see over over 1,500 people still here now on Facebook. If every one of you can tweet these images, tweet it to United Nations officials, tweet it to UNICEF, tweet it to UNESCO. Let them see the situation. A lot of public says they have a handle over it. All right, so please get to your Twitter, tweet these images. Let them go far and near. Okay, hello. 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 All right, again, before you call, make sure that the volume of your TV is shut down. Hello. 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 Well, it doesn't appear like you were ready to talk. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I salute you. I salute you for all the work you do. I want to talk now for pidgin.
Okay. Go on.
I want.
Now where you the call from?
I call from Mezam County.
Okay. And what will be the message you want person for here?
As I say, me will be Clado driver. I want to carry chop for bush bring up for Saturday and Sunday. Me say me I don't feel work.
You know if it work. You know if it work if your clando no get taxi color. Because you know say La Republic they use not a kind motor them like your own where no be taxi for these guys. If your motor in a get taxi color, you feel walk inside town. For carry chop from farm to town, that one will not agree. Inside town. And your motor must get taxi color. Makes sense? Seventy. Yes. Yes. So your audio is very poor. It's like you are very far from your phone. I can barely hear you, understand you. Yes, sir. Your motor, if you want to use them, if not clando, your motor get taxi color, good. And again, you want to circulate, it be inside town. Thank you for the call. All right, let's get to the next caller here. The next caller here. Oh, hello. Hello.
Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Mezam County.
Mezam County. Wonderful. Go ahead. What is in your mind?
Yes, I just wanted to add something to what you said concerning the lockdown.
Okay.
You know, the UN, they know what is on it. They know what is on the ground. I believe that we just have to use this lockdown as an instrument to add to what is already on the ground. They know that we are killing La République de Cameroon. They know that the war is going on. I think the lockdown itself should not only be used as an instrument to make them understand that what La République de Cameroon is saying is right. See, we need to add the firepower on the ground. We don't need to focus our mind very much on whether La République is fabricating.
But if I may ask you, sir, don't you think that you are seeing firepower? We are adding firepower on the ground. I mean, things are moving progressively. They are not as they were 6 months ago.
Thank you. I I really accept with you, because me in Mezam County, we are really seeing the work, the fabulous work our boys are doing on the ground on daily basis. There are some certain things that you people don't even hear over there to announce them that we see on the ground. The boys are working very, 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 very powerful, and things are turning to our advantage on daily basis. That as the hours goes on, that's how we benefit, and that's how we are gaining ground. So I think the problem of the Gosan is good to make the international community understand that the entire people of the Ambazonia have categorically rejected the call of school going back or anything as things are, there is no mercy and so on. I am with you, and I will, in addition to what you are saying, there are corpses just lying around the town, all over the place. So I don't understand what is really going on.
Where is that? All over the town, where?
I'm gathering from. Pardon?
Corpses all over the town, where?
Yes, in Quen, in Chase Street. I've not heard you make mention of that, and I know you are not aware of the fact there are corpses of people claiming to be Ambas, but they are the fake Ambas.
Oh, I think you joined the broadcast late. That was what I started with. But thank you for the call. Please let me get to some other callers. Thank you for the call. Okay. Wow, ground zero. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Hello. Think she dropped the call. Okay, somebody writes, killings in Bamenda town over the weekend. About 14 young men killed and kept at Finance Junction and kept at other crossroads by La République du Cameroon. These are the images they are referring to. That's what we started the broadcast with. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Meme Country.
Wonderful. And what is your contribution, sir?
Yeah.
Hello. That's a network problem there, unfortunately. All right. Let's get to the next caller. Hello. 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 Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you're calling from, please?
I'm calling from Kumba.
Okay, and what is your contribution, sir?
Firstly, I want to thank you for your wonderful job you're doing over there. And to me, sir, if I understand very well, the goal down is to let the UN know that we are still having a crisis. Is that?
Not necessarily that we are still having a crisis, and we really don't call it a crisis. This is a conflict. We want them to know we are in charge of our territory. We want them to know La République can lie to them that they have a grip over the situation. They don't. Go on.
Okay, sir, thank you. But to me, I think the length is too long for me. That's what I think. I think that we are putting much energy to tell them what they already know, because I'm sure they know that we have
No, I don't think you were you here from the beginning of the broadcast?
Maybe I didn't start.
Yeah, I think you missed something. You missed something because I explained earlier when somebody made reference to that those reports to the United Nations are submitted before the actual day of presentation. So, if we are not seen to be doing something and they get those reports, they took a lot of people to Cameroon, what they sent them for gospel truth. But then, if they see what is going on, there is no way the reports from French Cameroon can carry any water. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. But to also think they are aware of it every day.
And remember also that I mentioned that the weekends are lifted for people to go about around town, do shopping, buy food for the house. All right, thank you. Let me take some other callers, please. All right. Hello. Can you turn down the volume of your TV first, please?
Yes, I've already turned it down, sir.
All right. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from a country.
All right. Go ahead. What is your contribution?
Yeah, my contribution is just about those of us farmers that we are using Okada to go to the farm. Now that it's lockdown, I want to ask that can we be able to use the Okada and go to the farm?
Well, sir, unfortunately, every one of us is called upon to sacrifice. If we do not want Okadas, anything moving, we cannot encourage others using it for anything, because then everybody else start using it. Please let us sacrifice just for these few days. Remember, it's only Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday. If Friday is not part of it, I will confirm it and put out information. Then Saturday, Sunday are free. Then you go to the next week, Monday. Then the rest of the week, Sunday, the weekends are out. So please, let us sacrifice and send this message out. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes, hello, I'm trying to get you. Okay, that was just what I wanted to ask, so that I'll be...
All right, thank you.
Sure of what is going on, so that... Yeah, thank you also.
All right. Okay, I will take one more call, and I will call it a day. Let me see that lucky person. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. That's a bad connection. Let's see who is the luckiest last person. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
I'm calling from Bamenda. I'm calling from Bamenda.
Okay, thanks for the call. What is your contribution?
I'm calling in regards to I hope the lockdown will not affect the school, because we have contributed a lot for our children to go to school.
Sir, the lockdown affects everybody. If schools are locked down because of the lockdown, they are locked down. Nothing is exempted. You just heard me talk to an Okada man who is, no, it's not even an Okada man, it's a farmer. I think he rides Okada to farm. If it affects them, it affects everybody.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate your understanding. Okay. Hello. 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 All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will call it a day. I will call it a day here. Unfortunately, I cannot take all of your calls, but I think this message has been sent out. Again, I did not read that press statement announcing this lockdown because I was in the meeting. If Friday is part of the weekends off, expect to hear, you will get an audio from me reaffirming that tomorrow. So thank God Friday is not tomorrow. So you don't have to be worried about that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much again. Lockdown is starting on Wednesday the 15th. Do not accept any other information from any other person other than this interim government. Again, do not accept any other information that gives you different dates from any person other than this interim government, because we see a lot of Confucianists out there who just want to make sure that what the interim government says is not respected. I don't know what they gain. I don't know what they gain by that. But the good thing is that majority of you are doing the right thing. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to being with you again, possibly sometime next week. God bless you all, and good night. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, it is about the slow but sure depletion, if not stopped. Please listen once more. This is the moment to rise up and save what remains. Like Pontius Pilate, the Vice Chancellor is fast trying to wash his hands. Ambazonians, if God forbid we fail in this war, they will take back everything they have allowed us to manage. We must remain steadfast or lose the war. They sold our institutions and our resources for positions, for money, for power, and for influence. Why we fight to recover it all? We must not allow such enablers continue selling us. We must neutralize their plans, and if need be, neutralize them too. From today, we declare an end to these permanent military gendarmes or police checkpoints in all of Ambazonian streets and roads. It is therefore incumbent upon us to stop tomorrow's murder today.
This is the state of the struggle with your anchorman Chris Anu, Ambazonia's spokesperson.
Chavez.